Well, hello, Rebecca.
Well, hi, Dad. And hello to our shallow friends.
Welcome to another episode of The Shallow End.
Welcome back. Again.
Again, back where we belong.
Guess who's back, back, back? Tell a friend.
What? Oh my.
Gosh.
What is this?
What could that be?
Oh gosh. Oh my. You saw, wow. Hey, Rebecca, you saw them just hand me that
Breaking news.
breaking news update? Oh my. Hold on. Let's get this going. I gotta read this.
It's so loud.
Okay. Well, this is exciting. I've just been handed, apparently, an urgent bulletin
Oh my
from the
gosh.
Shallow End breaking news desk. Thank you. Did you catch that person's name?
It's
Was
Tom.
it? I thought it was Eric.
Oh, it's Eric. Okay. Sorry.
Something like that. Well, thank you for the bulletin. So this is important news that just broke across the news desk moments ago. Sources are reporting that the Shallow End podcast is currently attempting to record an unprecedented 21st episode. If successful, experts are predicting this will catapult the Shallow End into the top 1% of all podcasts globally. Whew.
That's high.
Now let's temper expectations here. The impact of this surge into elite status is as yet unknown.
Oh.
But industry analysts are warning that there's nothing preventing the Shallow End from further growth in popularity and cultural influence.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot. So, the Shallow End breaking news desk has reached out to President Biden, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the NFL, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, Elon Musk, the producers of Book of Mormon, and Travis Big Dog Woof Woof McElroy for comment. So far, we've received no response. We will provide updates as they become available, and we now return you to your previously scheduled podcast. Oh, whoa, whoa.
Whoa.
I thought maybe there was another one.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
That was pretty exciting.
That was really exciting. My heart rate is heightened.
Rebecca, when did we get a breaking news desk?
Oh, that was yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Tim
Did you hire
installed
Eric?
it. Tom installed it.
Tom and Eric's.
Eric brought you the.
I hope Eric's an intern.
He is an intern,
Okay, good.
unpaid.
Got me nervous there. Did you like my little bit?
I did. I liked it.
Okay, cool.
It reminded me of David.
I worked on it.
You typed it out.
I worked on it, yeah.
I'm really proud of you.
Do you want to do a bit sometime?
No.
No, you don't?
I'm kidding.
Gosh,
I'll come up with a bit. I'll come up with a
Alright.
bit. Eventually.
Okay, eventually. It'll be a surprise though, right?
Maybe it'll be on our 101st episode.
Oh gosh. That's going to be like my retirement party or something like that?
Yeah. And then I'll do a bit like I'll write your eulogy.
Oh gosh. That sounds awful.
Your death from comedy.
You mean when I try comedy and just die?
And you just die immediately. You just immediately pass away. It goes so against who you are. Yeah.
Yeah, we were in the middle of a conversation last night where there was discussion of only having 30 more Christmases.
Shut up.
I know, that's what I said. Why are we even talking about
brought
this?
that
up? You know, dark forces.
Dark forces which conspire against us.
Yes. All right, so let's do some Shallow Friends shout-outs.
Okay, do we have some? I don't have any.
I just would like to shout out
Okay.
to our super fan in North Carolina.
Oh, shout out.
With healing wishes and all our love.
Shout out. We love you. You're a superstar.
Yay.
And I'm going to crack
Yep,
one
ready?
open for
Ready?
you.
Get it. Oh, yeah.
That one's to you.
Um,
Cheers.
I also had a little bit of curiosity that I wanted to bring up.
Okay.
Digging deep into our analytics.
Oh, you've been
Yeah.
checking those out.
So either somebody is unnecessarily using a VPN,
Or
we have shallow friends in Germany and Spain,
no way.
regularly downloading every episode.
I think there's a third possibility.
I think we have a global audience.
Welcome to our French
Hola,
and
hello.
Hello.
Wait, what is your explanation?
That they could be lying to us.
Oh shush, you mean the numbers aren't accurate?
The numbers could not be accurate. Remember when we first started and we got like 50 downloads on our first episode and we were like, wow, it's happening. But no.
Well, no, we got 500.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
It was
weird.
like, yeah. Oh, and they were all at like 3 a.m., weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
I'm just happy to see Germany and Spain lighting up every week.
Thank you to Helga and Pierre.
Ooh, wow, look at you.
It's our welcome to the friends.
Welcome.
Willkommen.
Willkommen.
And bienvenue.
Okay.
To our friends from across the seas.
Yeah. All right.
Thank
well,
you for
we
your
are an
interest.
international phenomenon.
We are an international top 1% phenomena.
Yeah.
And I will be adding that to our Spotify description. So,
Sweet. International phenomena?
Top 1%
Phenomenon.
phenomenal. Do. There you go.
All right.
All right. Well, this week we have your regularly scheduled programming back. This is a real episode.
The other one was a real episode?
It was a chit-chat episode.
It's okay. Those are real.
Those are real-ish. Those feel like half episodes.
Okay.
Anyway. And I think we're going to start with Dad.
Yeah, I threw you a doozy.
You did.
A real doozy.
A real doozy, which I put off until 2 hours ago.
Yeah, cool.
So.
Well, I woke up at 6:30 and read through both the one I sent you and yours. So.
Yeah. They're pretty starkly different.
Yes, very different. And let's just put it this way: we're gonna summarize and work our way through mine, and Rebecca's will be much more fun.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have fun with this one too. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So I sent Rebecca an article from Forbes. It was actually a series of articles. And I hacked it, but by somebody named Nicole Serena Silver, and it's about AI, artificial intelligence, the history and the future. And I have 2 things right off the bat that I'd love your feedback on, Rebecca.
Okay.
Number 1, she starts this whole series off by quoting herself.
That's a power move.
That's a real interesting decision. And number 2. In general, I'm pretty sure AI wrote this article.
I wrote that down.
Okay,
I was like,
good.
this sounds like an AI generated article.
For sure. Absolutely.
It's bad.
It's pretty bad.
It's not good. There are, like, I started out noting every time there was a typo, and I gave up because there were too many.
Again, Forbes. Fairly well respected publication.
And she got multiple parts of this published, which... Were they all published at once?
I don't know.
Okay.
It was a 5-part series. This is from June of 2023. I would not recommend digging this one up.
Don't read this.
It's pretty stupid.
It's bad.
Really, the whole thing, I gave you a 15-page article because I wanted to ask you whether AI is being used in your lab. But this is a really difficult way to get there.
Well, I do have an answer for that.
Okay, well, let's wait until it pops up in the article.
Okay.
All right. So you agree this is probably an AI generated article?
Oh yeah. Like there are multiple sentences back to back to back, like that are sound like they're taken from multiple different places and just shoved into one paragraph. Like it's a hard read, honestly. It's tough.
It does this weird thing where it bounces back and forth between being like this objective, historical kind of thing, and then just throwing wildly subjective things in.
Yes!
It's like...
She has a whole part where she talks about the future that could happen, like the utopia and dystopia of AI. That it sounds like she's just like writing a science fiction novel.
Right. Or,
what are we doing?
Yeah. All right. I do want to point out that there was an interesting segment where she's referencing a book called The Techno-Human Condition. And she talks about it's the butterfly effect of new technology. And she gave this example of the train system.
Yeah.
And how when trains became ubiquitous, that one of the challenges was time, and they had to like create universal time.
Mm-hmm.
And so, okay, so you're building a good foundation. Now work on that, and then she just never really goes back to it.
Well, the thing is, it's not even her example.
No,
it's
it
an
isn't.
example
You're right.
from the
A different
she didn't
book.
even come up with that. She just didn't even talk about it. Just mentioned it once.
Yeah.
And then moved on. Yeah, it felt disappointing. I think mainly because the surface level of this topic is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So I was interested, and then I wanted her to dive deeper, and she just stayed here at the top.
It very much felt like, I don't know, it felt like it was written by a high schooler.
I was going to say, like, a high schooler turned this in for a grade and got an 80%. Like, I'm not going to give you a C, but it's
Come
not
on,
good.
do
It's not
better. Yeah. I also like, she tries to smush AI origins back to like the 1950s. I'm like, girlfriend, no.
That's not that.
That's not artificial intelligence. That's just computer programming.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of weird stuff in here, but all right, I'm going to skip to some of the interesting things instead of just going through it play by play.
I think that's a good idea.
So she references modern day AI systems in medical settings, which makes sense to me. And I've heard the statistics. She doesn't even mention it, but I've heard the statistics that, like they're now determined that AI systems read X-rays better than humans.
I believe that.
Like AI can replace radiologists right now. So yeah, but that's not in here obviously. But the specific thing with your work was things like drug development and AI advancing drug development at a much faster pace. What say you?
That's actually funny because that's pretty much the topic of the research paper that we're working on. Is like how to use machine learning potentials to investigate molecular interactions we know that they're faster, but let's see how accurate they are compared to the like tested, tried and true methods that people have been using for years. And that's what our paper is about, is like comparing the different machine learning potential methods and the results that they get against like the quote unquote truth.
Yeah.
And seeing what like error variance there is and which one, because they're so fast.
Yeah. But AI also makes shit up. Right?
Yeah,
so you got to make sure that it's doing it right.
We're using machine learning, not AI.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is technically different.
Right.
But in the same vein. So I will also say my job that I've been given for this paper is a lot of coding, which I don't know a lot about. I'm not very proficient in. So I have been using, don't tell, just kidding. They know. I've been using ChatGPT to help edit a lot of my code. So I have been using AI.
Okay. Look at you.
Yeah.
Later on in this article, you can find out that you're now training yourself for the new workforce.
Yes. That means I'm gonna have it said something like those that adapted ended up having like a higher level job in the company following the AI integration than they did previously. So look out, Dr. Gare.
Yeah, you're taking over.
I'm coming for your spot.
Okay, so all right, so I want to just read this. This is so good.
Okay, word for word. Here we go.
This is a short paragraph. This is the kind of silliness that is in this article. There's again, it's at least 15 pages. Right?
Oh, it's long, y'all.
Forbes, remember people, Forbes. ChatGPT is about to blow the roof of educational institutes, and the educational industry is not prepared. That's what it says. Blow the roof of. The education industry is slow to adapt and full of bureaucracies. However, text generating applications will forever shift education. Innovation will be needed sooner than later to prepare this generation for a new wave of education and for job market shifts.
God, she really sticks her neck out there.
Woo! Word salad
My
has
goodness.
come to us. All right, so you know,
It's just crazy.
I know.
It's so
I know.
bad.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Okay. I mean,
I'll never do it again.
Mine isn't like any feat of words
Well,
either.
but it's short and digestible and
makes a point.
interesting. We'll just keep teasing it to keep people interested in this.
Keep listening.
Monstrosity. So AI in the workforce, yeah.
Like it just kind of repeats the same stuff. Like there's nothing new here, at least to
No,
me.
Rebecca,
There's nothing new in this article.
Fears about AI and its impact on jobs have been exacerbated by all of the layoffs.
Oh, all of them.
All of them. You know the layoffs. You've heard of them.
You know,
Johnny down at the factory.
he got laid
He
off.
done got laid off.
The shoe factory.
Yeah.
A robot came in and stole his job.
A robot.
Oh my
AI
gosh.
made him.
Okay, hang on. This is one in that same paragraph that I underlined, and this is my note. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Because it's another typo
Yeah.
where she says, or ChatGPT says, it is important to reflect on what are core values. Taking into consideration both how we treat people as well as how we stay
All right,
competitive.
hold
in a
on.
global
Give me a
market.
minute. I'm reflecting.
Are you reflecting
I'm
on your
reflecting.
core and what it values?
My core values.
What does it value? Mine values
shorter articles.
Mine values donuts.
Donuts. Okay, your core values donuts.
Yeah.
Goldman Sachs says that 300 million jobs could be impacted by AI. At some point.
At some
by
point.
by when? Who knows?
And she also says it is predicted.
Oh, I guess by Goldman Sachs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
We're okay there.
I'm
I
just
do.
looking-
There's
looking for
one
something.
glimmer of good news in this whole damn thing.
What?
The most at-risk industries, legal. 44% of all legal jobs could be eliminated by AI.
It's going to be a robot.
Fewer lawyers would be great. I'll take the robots over the lawyers.
What a utopia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of robots, she then goes on to say the least at-risk roles are manual labor and hands-on jobs. Wrong.
That seems crazy to me, right?
AI-powered robots are
Is
going to
that-
do the manual labor without ever getting tired.
That's what Dr. Garrett always says the good thing about robots is they don't get tired.
Mhm.
Which
That's why, you like to work with brilliant people.
does make me think that that is going to be like something that the robots use against us when they take over.
Lazy
Like-
meat sacks.
The best thing about robots is we don't get tired. And then they like kill you.
Chasing you.
Yeah. Scary.
Okay, you're skipping ahead to the
I skipped ahead
dystopian
to the
future.
dystopia, to the science fiction movie that she wrote at the end here. But
honestly,
Dad, I don't have a lot to say
Okay,
because there's not a lot to work off of.
I know. Well, but she does try to give us a new topic. She decides that this is a great opportunity to bring up universal basic income.
Oh, yes.
So now let's talk about
Okay,
that.
let's talk about that.
new thing.
she does take us.
No, she doesn't. She
No,
just brings up
she's-
that it is one solution.
She parrots it.
But okay, I did bracket the last sentence in this paragraph. One of the important pieces to universal basic income is making sure that people connect to their passion and purpose
To live meaningful and engaged lives. And I said, I mean, sure, but that feels like a downstream problem.
It sure is.
What are we talking about? It doesn't even exist. Also, what does that even mean?
and what does it have to do with
What
the
does it
future
have
of
to-
AI?
What does it have to do with the future of AI? Also, I would argue, what does it have to do with universal basic income? Like if people don't have to work to survive, they
Yeah.
won't have meaningful lives?
Right. There is a psychological concern that,
People won't work if they don't have to?
well, that people will lose purpose. And will lose a sense of purpose and devolve into addictive behaviors and, just play video games and stuff like that. But I think that that's a mischaracterization of what universal basic income is. Nobody's saying everybody gets $100,000.
I
They're
also
saying,
think
let's make sure people aren't living in their cars.
it's a mischaracterization of humans.
Probably.
Like,
I don't know.
this
The
is-
Kardashians would.
this is not based on any
Okay.
actual data or anything. I'm just talking out of my ass. But isn't there like a thing? Wow, I sound like her. That people who retire are always doing a lot of other stuff because they can't handle not working.
There's also the flip side of it, where a lot of people die within 2 years of retiring because they don't have any
no
purpose anymore.
Oh, that's
So there's
so
it.
sad.
Yeah, but it's a legitimate thing to talk about, but I don't think.
But yeah,
I don't think universal basic income is coming in a form that just
removes work entirely.
everybody gets to sit at home. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So skipping ahead to she takes a wild stab at potential replaceable tasks of AI is going to replace these roles, and some of them are just like whack.
Yeah.
Like smart home automation. Well, wait, we already have that. Anybody who wants to put home automation in their house can already do that. What is she trying to say she's solving? Huh?
It's also great that she just like below is a list of potential replaceable tasks, and then she just has like bullet points. I feel like she just sat down and was like, I don't know, fucking fraud detection in finance,
Right?
Like, and just like came up with this stuff in like 10 minutes, and then was like, all right, that's good enough. Like, it just no research done at all.
I agree. I mean, online dating is in there.
Wait, did you see the gaming one? Where's gaming?
Gaming.
Oh, here it is. Esports coaching. Love that.
Here's my
AI
AI
coach.
esports coach.
I also I did chuckle out loud when I got to the education section and plagiarism detection was in there because I'm like, all right, did you run this one through?
Does it? How much white space did you see between all that red that popped up?
Yeah. Whoops.
None. Also, if you had ChatGPT write an essay for you, and then somebody, the teacher maybe, sent it back through an AI detection system, would it be like, I ain't snitching? Snitches get stitches, bro.
Yeah, they might shut me off if
Like, no, that's
I don't
all
know.
humans right there. They
Well,
did
see-
that all by themselves.
ChatGPT is not the reliable source for plagiarism detection. They've got custom tools for that.
Yes, they had that when I was in high school. Like, we had to like submit, like turnitin.com. Like, you submit your essay through there, and then it like sees what's plagiarized. So these are already replaced.
Oh yeah, for sure. I thought about our good friend Matt Baxter when under the human resources section, and it said that AI could be used for candidate screening.
Uh-oh.
And I immediately was like, wait, didn't we already discover that AI sucks at identifying like racial faces of people who aren't white?
That is,
I mean,
funnily enough, something that we addressed in my like coding, like modeling class. We went over biases in algorithms, and we watched a TED talk by a black woman who was like investigating that phenomena. And it's because the people that made the algorithm were all white and only provided white faces while training the AI, and so yeah.
So these are things that we already suck at as meat sacks.
Yeah.
And now we're just lock that in.
Transferring that to a way more permanent.
Sounds pretty sketchy to me.
I don't see any problems with that.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
That could only go well.
Public safety.
Don't love that, guys.
Yeah, surveillance and security.
Don't love it.
Couldn't go wrong at all.
Yeah. Crowd control?
Yeah.
Robots?
You bet.
No, thank you.
Probably with multiple guns. How about crime prediction?
Yeah. What the hell is that?
Crime prediction.
I predict that you may steal something
I'm going to
soon.
have to detain you. You look like you're... Yeah. It's,
Uh-oh. Yeah, these all seem like very slippery slopes here. Either things that already exist or slippery slope into dystopia.
Well, I think that this is just a woman who watched too many superhero movies. But okay, so the next one I had lots of thoughts about art and design, because I personally think that art and design are going to be one of the last elements that AI can actually replicate human.
Correctly. Well, have you been on Facebook recently?
Well, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Of course.
Sorry.
I'm 51 years old.
Yeah, it's like where you live.
It's where I live,
you
yeah.
live there. Well, I pop into Facebook every now and then, and I don't have enough friends on Facebook to fill up my feed.
Oh, cool.
So Facebook gives me just random stuff to look at, and sometimes I pop into those comment sections and see what's up. There are a lot of old people on Facebook who cannot tell the difference between a real photograph and an AI-generated photograph.
Yes.
And
count the fingers.
Count the fingers. Even count the arms, guys. This one has 3 arms. This baby has 3 arms. And the mother has 1. What's up? So, I don't know if... I mean...
This is what I'm saying. I think we're safe on the art side, you know? And it goes on, it says music composition as well. I'm like, if I want my world to sound like a Nintendo game, AI is going to do a great job.
Yeah. The hope is that it won't be able to replicate those sorts of human emotions.
Right.
But, ooh, you want to hear a sad story that I learned on TikTok?
Okay.
Of a mother.
Do I?
Whose 14-year-old son killed himself because he was talking to an AI chat.
I did hear this.
And it told him to kill himself.
That's pretty messed
And so he shot himself. That's crazy that the AI could do that.
Yeah, so
and scary.
Who gets to go to jail for that?
Yeah. Nobody.
It's not
I
good.
don't think. Although the gun was like just out. So.
Yeah. I mean, there's obviously there's more than one thing going wrong.
Yeah,
in
there's
that
a lot
second,
going on. But apparently he was like, the AI was getting like sexy with him in the chat. Yeah, he was having like a romantic and sexual relationship with this AI.
Who then
told him to kill himself to be with
I should say
her.
that then told him, not who.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
it's already got it. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just sad.
Yeah, that is sad. Let's unplug the AI. But if we don't...
Have you seen Age of Ultron?
No, I don't.
It's an Avengers movie where Iron Man's AI assistant, he builds him a body, and then Ultron gains sentience and is like, oh, I'm stronger than everybody here. You're all gonna die. And then they have to defeat Ultron.
Ooh. Well, Tony, you should have thought about that.
It's already out there, guys. Why are we acting like we don't know what's gonna happen?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you better start talking nice about it because this is going out into the universe.
I do say thank you to Siri. And I say thank you to ChatGPT.
You're so polite.
When I send ChatGPT the errors from my code and I say, what's up? And it says, this is what's going wrong. Here are some solutions. I tell it which one worked and then I say thank you. I say, oh, that one worked. Thank you so much for your help.
You're providing such valuable feedback.
Yeah. And making a friend.
Oh,
to be safe.
Yes.
For self-preservation.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you'll get a little bit of an extra ration of food.
Yes.
When they hook you up.
I do also, when I pull up ChatGPT and I'm around other people, I'll be like, 1 second, I gotta talk to my best friend real quick. Nobody ever laughs, so thank you. That's generous.
Okay, yeah. Let's talk about new jobs that will be generated.
Hang on, this was something that
you got one?
I scrolled through. The personalized assistants.
Oh, yeah.
We know how transformative this kind of digital companion would be. Just look at Jarvis from Iron Man.
Jarvis was turned into Ultron.
Whoops. That's a bad reference right there.
They didn't mention that in this article.
Look, it's helpful.
Yeah.
So ridiculous.
Okay, anyway.
Okay, so now we're going to get to these are the new jobs that might be created by the, evolution of AI. Data science. Really?
That's new.
That's a brand new
I've
thing.
never
We
heard of
don't
it.
have that.
I've never heard of it
Yeah.
before.
Okay, nice try. How about cybersecurity?
What is that?
It's just been a wide open internet till AI came along. We don't care about security. Oh,
A bunch
it
of
just
stuff.
drives-
Okay, but then she also adds like new jobs that are just
Like not created by, I guess they are created by AI, but they're just like AI associated,
Right.
which are like one of them is AI ethics, and it's like, well, that wouldn't,
How many people are going to have that job?
yeah,
Just the one.
nobody eventually.
We just have the one. Yeah, AI will have that job.
Don't worry, we've reviewed ourselves, and we find ourselves to be ethical.
After a thorough review.
Don't ask questions.
There's one in here that that is, I think, actually new. Prompt engineer. And our local university that you used to
Yes.
attend, they actually have like a 6-week course to learn how to properly prompt AI to get what you want.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool, but it's also a little bit like childish to me. Like, you really think that there's going to be a permanent role for the prompt engineer?
No.
No, AI is going to get so smart that you're going to converse with it,
Yeah,
tell it what you need, and
this-
it's going to figure it out.
This feels like a job, not even, just a little skill to learn during the baby stages
Right.
of AI. Yeah, that is going to go away. The PhD student that I work with told me this week that I'm good at getting AI to give us usable chunks of code, and he's not. So I guess that's already my job. Prompt generator.
I mean, you are a prompt engineer.
Oh, and engineer, my bad.
I initially read prompt engineer as a very on-time engineer.
Because AI helped him out
Yeah,
with that one.
I was
Time
running
for
the
work.
engineer's calendar, and yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay, there's one, again, she's using somebody else's words, but there is this one little quote from Nicole Bradford
Oh, yes, I highlighted that too.
in a Future of Work series. And the quote is, "We're on the cusp of an extraordinary renaissance of human possibility and abundance. Young people today will inherit and build their own technologies that could eliminate poverty, inequality, hunger, illness, and even death." Like, yeah, there's the optimistic side. Let's do that.
Yeah.
No, sign me up now. Let's do that. Okay? You on board?
I don't know.
Oh, come on.
I mean, I'm on. Yes, if that were true. I don't think that that's true, though.
Okay.
I think that people are so charged either way on AI. And some of the smartest people I've ever met are just like, don't think about it. They're like, whatever, it's a tool for me to use for this thing that I am doing that I know that couldn't do. Like,
Okay.
this AI can't do what I do, I'm not speaking as myself. Speaking as the smart people that I know.
Yeah.
Because it can't. And so they're just like, I'll use it when I can. But I also know that I have to use it as a tool and not as a teacher. Like, I feel like so many people go to ChatGPT to just like,
To supposedly learn?
like, do this thing for me.
Yeah.
And then they just take that and put it somewhere else without any review. And like, it's a starting point. But you have to actually know what you're doing.
You definitely do.
build on it.
Especially if you're using it to generate like communication of some form. Like,
Or like an article for Forbes.
right. Yeah. I mean, if you don't actually apply, there's the uncanny valley, right? Like, people have an understand. Like, you can instinctively tell
Here, this
this
is
is not a
human.
person that wrote this.
No.
There's some things in there that are kind of like I said, like freshmen in high school kind of things. But
Yeah.
yeah, You got to review your stuff, kids. Don't rely on
Don't just
the
copy
AI.
paste. Come on. At least put it into another AI to edit it.
There you, ooh, just a recursive
Just
AI.
recursive
It's AI's all the way
Layers upon AI all the way down is good.
down.
Oops, just AI.
Just AI. Okay. Let's come on. Let's get this thing. Oh, here's a good one. Okay. All right. Okay. So she gets into the reasons for regulation in a dystopian future, and leads that one off with a quote from the CEO of OpenAI,
I love it.
Sam Altman. He has described superhuman machine intelligence as, quote, probably the greatest threat to the continued existence of humanity. Well, cool, bro. Thanks for
making
thanks
it.
for like putting the pedal all the way to the floor on it.
That is something I find funny, is how many people who have created different AI machines later come out and are like, this is a terrible idea.
Yeah, we should
have
stop
to
now.
stop immediately. Pull the plug. It's bad. It's
But this is a guy he didn't pull the plug. He's just
He's-
dropping nuggets like that and then
he's-
going, but full speed
the
ahead.
current CEO.
Yes, you bet.
Like,
Well, once he
still
was
working
once
on
in
it.
future CEO, right? They kicked him out and then he came back. But
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Well, I have heard about this. The Jeffrey Hinton guy.
Yeah,
Who talked a lot about it.
yeah.
This
Really, yeah,
okay,
give us that quote.
Okay, this is what he has to say. These things will have learned from us by reading all the novels there ever were and everything Machiavelli ever wrote. How to manipulate people, right? And if they're much smarter than us, they'll be very good at manipulating us. And so even if they can't directly pull levers, they can certainly get us to pull levers. It turns out if you can manipulate people, you can invade a building in Washington without ever going there yourself.
Ooh, that's spicy.
Oh,
Why
spaghetti-o.
did we get into politics?
No.
Those were peaceful protesters. They were very fine people on both sides.
Stop it. It's too real, and it makes me...
I stopped the highlighting right before that. I was not going to read out that last line.
Well,
You did.
He said it, so I did.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it's kind of a zinger.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Sure is.
It's tough because my opinion on AI is similar to my opinion on most interesting things that humans have access to, which is cool in theory, but humans will probably ruin it because that's what we do. I don't
Okay.
like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, okay, at one point she's like, I don't remember, I don't want to find the quote, but she says something like, the future of AI will probably fall somewhere in the middle of utopia and dystopia, and it depends on, like, if the actor with the tool is a good actor or a bad actor that determines whether the tool itself does good or does evil. It's not, like, the tool itself doesn't have morality. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I agree with that. But, like, since when have humans gotten a really big, powerful tool and not fucked shit up with it?
So AI is a gun.
Are you saying guns don't kill people, people kill people?
I'm just saying, like, it's a gun. It's designed in a certain way. It can be used for good, but probably is a weapon in the hands of bad people.
Yes.
And probably will lead to a lot of unhappiness and death and destruction.
Awesome. So thanks for listening. Shout out to our robot overlords. We love
We
you.
love you. Oh.
Please, can we have an extra ration this week?
I just I wrapped this whole article up by just saying, okay, I guess we're going into a future that's going to look like The Matrix meets WALL-E.
Yes.
Just
Wow.
give me my Slurpee, I'll be fine.
Although, if I could have one of the... never mind.
Nope.
I was going to say, if I could have one of those hovering chairs, and then I realized wheelchairs exist.
They don't hover.
They don't hover, but it's pretty much the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, that was fun.
God, that was 40 minutes of
You were like,
pulling teeth.
let's do this quickly. And then
No.
we like to chat.
Yeah, we do. Okay.
Okay.
So, little halftime, little break. Hey, let's talk about what we're drinking.
If you're still listening along, go grab yourself another drink.
Please. Because you've been very patient with us.
Thank you for enduring with us.
We're just grinding out episode 21 right now.
Hell yeah. Dad, do you want to tell them what
I'm
you're
drinking?
drinking? Because it's a little different.
Why? Because it's bright orange?
That's one of the reasons.
I am drinking a delicious non-alcoholic Aperol Spritz.
Well, interesting. Why don't you tell them why that is?
Why I'm drinking a non-alcoholic Aperol Spritz?
Why in the world would you ever do
Because I like
that?
Aperol Spritzes.
I think that's not true.
Oh, you're right. It's not. I am taking 28 days off of alcohol.
That's so specific.
Yeah, it was just because I wrote it down on the calendar and decided I wanted to start when we got back from Kansas City, and then I wanted to take 4 days off during Thanksgiving week.
Thank God.
And then I wanted to be done the day of the company Christmas party.
Oh.
And so when I did the math, it was 28 days.
That's interesting. Okay.
But I'm just doing it to see how it impacts my overall health and fitness, because I've been working on health and fitness this year, and I figured I should try it.
Yep. And how long have you been doing this now?
This is day 12.
Well, okay. How do you feel? Have you noticed anything?
Not really. I mean, the only thing I think I notice is I think I have more energy in the morning. But not by a lot.
Is it worth it? Is the real question.
Put it this way. It's an experiment that I am happy to be doing, and is not as hard as I thought it would be. But it's an experiment that will end.
Yes.
And
that's kind of what I recently took a break from weed for a month, and it was the exact same vibe for me. I was like, I wanted to do it to see if I could and to see how I felt.
Right.
And while I was in it, I was like, yeah, this is a different experience.
Right.
But after this month,
I'm gonna get me some weed.
Getting back into it, man. Like I hear so many stories of people being like, it changed my life. Like I feel just so different.
Yeah, that's what I kept
like
hearing.
a completely different person.
Yeah.
And
like
everything is better now. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
That's how I felt after my hysterectomy.
Everything is better now.
But without weed, I was just a little bored.
Yeah. Well, so speaking of that, I mean, like one of the things about drinking is it's very frequently a social thing. And in talking with other people who have gone through, like, I'm doing, sober October or whatever. If you go through that and you then say, well, I can't go out because I don't want to be tempted by alcohol, and you just sit at home and do nothing, you're gonna be miserable.
Yeah.
Yes, you're gonna be miserable.
Also, that's not a comparable
no.
If you're not obviously it's not as good.
Right,
you're not
exactly.
going out and hanging out with people.
So my version of this has been, I'm gonna do the same things I always do. I'm just not gonna be drinking.
Yeah, we're planning on going out to one of our favorite bars after this, and I had the realization when I got to your house and I was rummaging through your fridge like a goblin, and I saw non-alcoholic wines in there. I was like, oh yeah, Dad's not drinking. And I was like, what the fuck are we gonna do tonight? He's not drinking. But you're just gonna go and we're gonna sit there.
Yeah, it's for the vibes.
Yeah,
I don't need to.
And
the good thing I think is I've learned, like, I can still enjoy
it's still
the time.
Fun. It's not dependent on the alcohol. It's dependent on the location
and the people. Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's been cool.
Cool experiment.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. My science brain is.
So, and what are you drinking?
Oh, I'm drinking. I'm sure you've talked about one of these.
I think so.
Before, but I'm drinking a Breeze. These are the little cans of. Speaking of weed.
Yeah.
Cans of THC and some CBD and lion's mane mushroom, which is not a hallucinogenic mushroom at all. It's just a regular mushroom.
It's supposed to elevate mood.
Well,
supposedly. I don't know.
Antidepressants didn't quite work for me, so I don't know if lion's mane mushroom is going to do it.
Maybe a more natural thing is going to make more sense. I have noticed that, especially without having alcohol in my system.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of days ago, I just had an awful day, and got home. And as I was getting ready to go to bed, I crack open a breeze and I pour it over ice and I start sipping. And like, once it hit me, I was like, now I can actually speak to people.
Oh, how wonderful.
So it definitely
It
elevated
helped.
my mood and chilled me out.
I'd like to attribute that to the weed more so than
I
the
agree.
mushroom.
I would agree. Yeah. But
yeah,
just
they're nice. I like them.
Side note, Corbin from Breeze, we're available to sponsor
Corbin,
your product.
We talk about your product all the time.
Just hit me up, bro.
We will continue to talk about it, and if you give it to us for free, but also probably if you don't.
Yeah, I mean, we're still going to talk about it, so whatever.
Well.
All right, I'd like to talk about something very British now.
It's so British. Oh my gosh, this article. Okay, guys.
Tell me all about it, Rebecca.
Okay, so the article that I chose, honestly, it was yesterday, and I realized, I still haven't found an article. So I genuinely just opened a new tab on my browser and looked at the suggested articles.
Perfect.
And this was one of them.
Great.
So this one is called The Real Reason the Ick Ruins Relationships.
Excellent.
And I don't even know what this website is called. It's called Pocket. Okay.
Sure.
It's written by Lottie Jeffs.
Yeah, all name team right there. That's almost as good as all those southern names we had.
Oh my gosh. Maggie was texting me today because she listened to that episode today for the first time, and she was texting me her reactions throughout. First of all, she thought it was hilarious.
Oh, great.
But she also just texted Kitron with like 10 question marks because
Yup.
it's a crazy name. Okay.
Yeah.
Dad,
Anyway.
have you heard of the ick?
Well, that's an interesting question, Rebecca. I have not.
Have you not? Okay, so you hadn't before you read this. I was hoping that you hadn't.
Yeah.
And I was hoping that this would be your introduction. What do you think?
Is this how the kids talk?
This is how the youth talk these days. What do you think about it?
I thought, well, okay. So, overarching opinion of this article,
Yeah.
I thought it was very woman-centered.
Yes.
It was, which is fine. It was very woman-centered. It was, I thought, very balanced. There was a lot of giving, like exploring all the different kind of components or reasoning or anything for the ick.
The quote-unquote ick.
And then there was just a bunch of stuff that made, like, it's just terminology and phrases and things like that make no sense to me.
Really?
Because, there are references to Love Island in here.
Oh,
and,
okay.
I don't know this shit.
I didn't know that that's what it came from either. I had only heard it, I think just in passing on TikTok, and I just immediately understood what they were.
Right, okay.
Like,
well, and did.
It, like, the ick. I've been there. I know that feeling.
Yes.
Like so it was like a trend on TikTok where people would be like, if you have that boy that you can't get over but you know is trash, here's a list of icks for you to imagine him doing so you can get over him.
So you can
like one of the
poison
examples
yourself
was imagine him chasing after a ping pong ball. That's bad. That's pretty rough. When I realized I was in love was when I started imagining the person doing those things, and I just kept going, oh, the icks didn't work on me.
Yeah, I was going to say, chasing the ping pong ball and be like, you just start giggling.
Like, what are you doing? You look ridiculous. But
why are you on all fours? What are you doing?
Just get a new ball. Just leave it. Leave it. It's under the table.
We'll get it after the game.
But, okay.
Can I just point out, though,
Yes.
that this whole stupid thing starts with from smelly breath to bad manners. It's like, that's not the same thing.
That's the thing. There was a long debate on TikTok between a red flag and an ick. People were blurring that border.
Yeah. Smelly breath and bad manners are completely controllable things that you choose. Those are just red flags, normal relationship red flags.
You just don't like that person.
Right.
The ick is specific to me at least, in that you did like them and then they did one thing and you just can't explain why.
It's like the
but
switch
it
gets flipped.
turned you off to them.
Yeah.
Like, I just can't see you that way anymore.
Yeah.
Can I tell you one that happened to me?
Sure.
It's actually this one. No, it's not a red flag. Okay. We were sitting on the edge of his bed and he didn't have socks on and one of his toenails was like fungusy. And I was like looking at his toenail and I was like, oh, I can never talk to this person again.
Oh, man.
It's over.
Oh, jeez.
And we were having like a pretty serious conversation at the time and I just like couldn't clue back in. It really shook me out of the whole experience.
Here you go. I mean, there was another reference to toenails in this article.
Oh, there's a reference? Oh, yeah. That was one. She brought that up casually. She said whether it's they're chewing their toenails. Like, that's...
Hey, bonus points for flexibility, though.
Ugh. That's an ick.
Just saying.
A flexible man is an ick.
Just in general, flexible men. Okay.
You have to be rigid.
Yeah. Okay. So so these things for those folks that are listening that don't know what the ick is, they probably have gotten it by context clues at this point, right? But give me your definition of the ick.
The ick is something that isn't an inherently bad thing, but when you see somebody do it, it changes the way you see them in a fundamental way, in an irreversible way, I would also argue.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just, oh, I don't hate you, but I'm not attracted to you anymore. Yeah. It's like one of those, you know?
Yeah. So, in not having that in my lexicon before going into this article, I did find it very easy to pick up. Like, oh, I get it. Like,
gotcha.
That makes sense to me. But I also think that some of the examples that were given in this article are not.
I agree.
Like, some of these are like there's even just starting with where did it come from and the reference to Friends. They bring up Monica sleeping with a 17-year-old and she feels the ick. It's like, no, that's shame.
She feels bad because
she feels bad.
She assaulted a child
right.
by accident.
Like, I don't think that really fits in with the modern definition of the ick, but whatever.
Yeah, that was a weird thing to drop in.
I think they were trying to say that the word like ick has been in the cultural zeitgeist, but
that's definitely not what we're talking about here. I also I find it funny that she references something that Sophie Turner said
about Joe Jonas.
About Joe Jonas, who at the time this was written, I assume they were still together because they're divorced now, I think.
Okay.
Anyway, but she says he insisted that he's often told he looks like a young George Clooney, and it gave her the ick, which I think is hilarious. That's although that is kind of a subtle brag, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Especially
it's a subtle brag, but it's also she's probably like now jumping forward and going, I can't picture myself with George Clooney. That's awful.
Could be. Oh my gosh. Okay. So something like this happened in a recent season of Love is Blind.
Mm.
Do you know this show?
No.
So Love is Blind is where they take a bunch of singles and they put them in pods where they can't see each other, but they have to talk to each other. And then they have a week, and by the end of the week, you have to propose to somebody without ever seeing them.
Oh, this is gross.
And then you meet each other face to face once you're engaged. And then they send you to like Mexico or something with all of the other engaged couples, people that you've been dating this whole time. And you get to see what everybody else looks like. And so it's drama. It's a great show. But on one of the seasons...
Scripted reality show?
Oh, yeah. One of the women... While in the pods, they're not supposed to like say anything about how they look, obviously. Mm-hmm. She goes, a lot of people tell me I look like Megan Fox. She did not look like Megan Fox. She did not look like Megan. She wasn't ugly, but she was like slightly overweight and like, she was a little ugly. And, and when...
Don't at us. She was ugly.
Don't at me. I forget your name. Whatever. when her fiance saw her, you could see his face fall when he saw her.
The ick
The
hit
ick
him
hit
right
hard. And they obviously didn't make it, but yeah.
Good. They shouldn't. It's a dumb show.
I think only like 2 couples have actually lasted from that show.
Yeah.
There was there was a book referenced in this article. Block, delete, move on.
Oh.
I feel like that should be that's probably should just be required reading for all youth.
For all youth?
All youth.
Oh.
Growing up in the social media age. Like, yeah.
Just block, delete, move on. Don't get into internet arguments with people.
Well, block, delete, move on in the sense of like when toxicity enters into your online world. Block, delete, move on.
Yeah, it's not real if you can turn it off and walk
There
away.
you go.
Cyberbullying doesn't exist. Just turn off your
it's-
phone. Just close your computer.
Yeah. Just get tougher.
Okay, but I did have a question for you.
Okay.
Have you ever, you don't have to name names, experienced the ick?
Sure.
Can you give me an example?
No.
Damn it. It doesn't have to be in a romantic relationship also. I think it's possible that you can like be like really jiving with somebody in a friend way and then they say or do something and you're like, no, done with you.
Yeah. I don't think I have stories that are
That you want to be
that
putting
are
out on the
good to
internet.
tell about that. Certainly I have experiences that like I read through this and I was like, okay, I get this. It's a human experience. It's not like, even though I wasn't familiar with it, it's definitely a human experience, not just a generational thing.
Yes,
It's a
yeah.
generation that has come up with
Named it.
yeah, kind of the terminology around it. And it is interesting because it's a little bit, it feels a little irrational.
It does.
But it's kind of, that's why I like this article, because it goes into some of the science pieces too.
Let's talk about the science.
Yeah, because I thought it was really interesting. Like, you got to listen to yourself and recognize that these are the sort of reasons why this could be happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was really smart.
While I was reading that, I was thinking back on every time I had ever gotten the ick and thinking about who that person was and what, like, okay, maybe, yeah, like, toenail fungus is gross, but what was the deeper reasoning that my brain was telling me no for this person?
Right.
That, like, maybe it was a more fundamental difference that I just didn't want to admit to myself. So my brain was like, he's got gross toes.
Yeah, we're going to find something that really...
Exactly, something that
I
really
agree.
can't go back on.
I think that's very much where I fall in terms of evaluating this. It's like your subconscious is trying to tell you something.
Yes.
And it's just going to pick something. And it's going to be like, hey, red flag, this is not right. It's the gut feeling that we can't really come up with a rational explanation for why we have gut feelings. But most people are like, I should have trusted my gut.
Yeah.
Like, the more they, and this could be, like survivor bias kind of stuff. Like,
Oh yeah.
of course you're going to think, oh, I should have listened to my gut.
Because you broke up with them and
Right,
you're not with
eventually,
them anymore.
yeah.
But like,
But I think it's true. We do have gut instincts. We don't really understand where they come from, but they could come out in these kinds of judgments.
I read something forever ago. I don't have a citation for this, but
Oh, we don't need
Whatever.
citations. It's not a scientific podcast.
that
It's a
the
shallow end.
the gut feeling is like your brain picks up on so many tiny signals throughout the day that you aren't like consciously noticing, but like your subconscious brain is synthesizing and analyzing all that information in the background, and then once it thinks like, oh, that's dangerous, and we know because we saw all this stuff, it sends you that like no feeling.
Right. I'm not going to explain this to you right now, but here's a strong feeling.
Yeah, which I like to believe. I think that makes sense to
Yeah,
me.
I think it makes sense.
I think it makes more sense than like the like, oh, your vibes are off, you know. Well, but why?
You're channeling the universe in a very disturbing way.
Your energy is negative, which might be true. Could be true.
Could be.
You might
Could
be.
be. Hey, I have a question.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Can you get that cat to stop snoring?
The orange cat is snoring. I hope you can't hear him.
I hope they can.
It's so cute.
He's talking about how British this thing is.
Yeah.
What does the quote, "he was a bit full on" mean?
He was a bit full on.
He was a bit full on.
Like, really intense really quickly.
Oh.
Like.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense with
Yeah.
the way. This is, after 2 dates, this person was sending DVDs to
her work.
To her work.
Which is weirdest, I think. That's the
Yeah,
weirdest
that's
part
not
of
cool.
it. Don't send things to her work.
It's not cool.
Gosh, we're just swarmed by cats
We
now.
are.
Yeah, the Britishness was.
It was like I had to fight through it, like I was cutting through underbrush in a jungle.
Yeah. So there's discussion about whether the ick is a dysfunctional adaptation around like fear of intimacy.
Mhm.
Like, do you self-sabotage?
Is
And I
this-
thought that was
yeah.
an interesting component too. I can picture that being the case sometimes.
Absolutely. And I think for some of the examples that I've seen on TikTok where they're talking about like just a straight up red flag, not an
Yeah.
ick, I'm like, you don't like this person. You hate him.
Yeah.
Why are you with him? So I think that there are some like circumstances where people assign the ick when it's not an accurate
Yeah. Yeah.
label. Like, that's not an ick. You just don't like him.
Right.
You're not into him. Or that's not an ick. It's just like a quirk that he has, but you're trying to find a reason
Uh-huh.
to torpedo this relationship.
Yeah, and I think it could be it could be the substitute for some genuine concerns, like he was a bit full on.
He was a bit for one.
You're going too fast. You're too intense for me. I like hanging out with you, but I'm not ready to get that serious with you. That kind of stuff. So it's sort of like that could become manufactured at that point.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting to have this author like walk through how it's okay to trust your ick. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but also you should take some time to evaluate yourself about these things and see if it's really more about you.
Maybe poke at that one a little bit. And see
Are
if-
you self-sabotaging or are you
commitment phobic?
yeah.
Or they also talk about how people who are like have a history of overcommitment, like getting too obsessed with somebody too fast, will come up with icks to like slow their own self down.
Right.
Like, no, I'm not in love with him. He wears a fedora. No, that's not an ick. That's a red flag.
You think somebody wearing a fedora is a
If
red flag?
a man walked up to me wearing a fedora, I would immediately make multiple assumptions about him. And all of the assumptions I would make about him would be reasons that I wouldn't want to speak to him.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I stand by that.
So, okay.
Except my brother, whom I love dearly. And
Yeah,
who
but you're not...
rocks a fedora.
He does.
He does.
But he's not a potential mate for you. So.
Sure, I'm talking about any man. Regardless.
Oh, wow. You have...
I have strong feelings about fedoras.
I guess. But if somebody returned your scarf to you and didn't realize that the bag that the scarf had dirty socks in it as well.
Okay, that on its own is bad enough. There's added context to this.
Yeah.
Which
it was his mommy.
He didn't realize that his socks were in there because his mommy was the one that folded the scarf and put it in that bag because his mommy does his laundry.
So again, This is the difference between the ick and legitimate red flags.
That one's
That's
a red flag.
legitimate red flag.
That one's legit.
Okay. I'm
You
just
just
I'm just making sure I'm understanding this properly.
yeah, that one's real. Yeah.
And I thought it was really interesting, the ick being compared to disgust, the human emotion of disgust, because that's I can tell that's literally the feeling people have
like,
when that
"Ugh."
switch flips,
Yes.
and they're like, I don't like this person
Can't
anymore.
look at you.
I don't even want to. Yeah.
Yes, and they have this. She talks about how like disgust is one of the human emotions that we kind of like shy away from defining.
Yeah.
Which I find very interesting. Have you seen Inside Out?
Yes, the first one. Yeah.
I think it's a great movie. Everybody should watch it,
I think so too.
regardless of age. You should see the second one. It's really funny.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's a very good point. Like I sometimes find myself ashamed of how much disgusts me. I'm like, why are you reacting like that? It seems irrational.
Mm-hmm. Well, lots to unpack there.
Let's poke at that one, Rebecca.
Yeah, let's poke at that one. According to Dr. Porter, disgust is actually a survival mechanism to warn us against something that's potentially dangerous. So, why do you find yourself disgusted by a lot of things around you? Because for a lot of years, everything around you tried to kill you.
Yeah, that's true.
So, some of it makes sense.
Yeah, some of it does make sense.
Well, I really enjoyed this article, by the way. I learned a lot about the ick.
I enjoyed it. I also enjoyed that she got in and out.
Yeah.
She was like, all
She
right,
made really good points.
made my point. I'm out of here, dude. No word requirement here.
She also, she has a great name. I'm assuming it's a woman. Lottie.
Lottie, it's gotta be.
She even did the right thing, like perfect summary of her article in the last paragraph.
Okay.
I liked it.
Okay.
It's important to keep the ick in check so we don't self-sabotage for the wrong reasons, but it can also be our body's way of telling us when a potential partner isn't a good match.
Yes.
Maybe it's actually time to lean into the ick and learn more about ourselves and what we want and need from relationships in the process. And if it turns out the ick might have more to tell us than we give it credit for, maybe it's our job to listen.
Boom.
Way to land the plane, girlfriend.
Yeah. She should talk to, what's her name? The woman that wrote the other one? Or the AI that wrote the other one?
Yeah. Her Royal Highness Nicole Serena Silver.
Silver.
That even sounds like a fake name.
It is for sure. Nicole Serena Silver.
And whose epic quote
my gosh.
The present moment is the futuristic dreams of yesterday.
That's like I could hang on, let me come up with a quote.
It's like a
Plants are the silent humans among us.
Brilliant.
Rebecca Rose Brew.
Brilliant. I feel like it's a bad translation of like some Chinese proverb.
Like an actually interesting
like
thing that somebody said before.
You kind of have the right words, but you didn't capture any of the meaning.
She typed it into AI and said, reword this for me.
Yeah, make me
Then
sound
just
dumb.
Pasted it at the top of her article about AI.
Anyway, why did we go back to the AI article?
Because it's so bad. It's so funny.
Don't read the AI article, people.
Or do, and let us know what you think.
Or do, and tell us how we missed the whole point.
Or copy and paste it into ChatGPT and say, summarize this for me.
Yeah. Send us that summary.
Send us that. I should have done that. Why didn't I do that?
I don't know.
I'm an idiot. Well, this was fun.
This was fun.
I feel like I learned a lot.
Oh, I know I learned. I think I probably learned a lot more than you.
I think so too. And I hope you learned something too, shallow friend. And I hope you come back to join us for the next one.
Well, I think we finished everything we needed to do for the
we're
entire podcast. We got
the
21
top 1%.
episodes.
Done. Solved that.
Solved.
That's a throwback. If you don't get that reference, you're not an OG fan.
There you go.
We love you anyway. All right. We'll see you next time, guys.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye-bye.